Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
Well, we got one final call to get to today before I get to the super chats, and that's Stephen in Missouri. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate it. You're on with Andrew and Matt.
Hi,
Stephen.
How you doing?
Doing pretty well.
Well, thank you.
So, excuse me?
We just
sorry,
said thanks. Go
first
ahead.
time caller. A little nervous. Anyway, Matt, and I'm sorry. I just caught on to the show. Andrew, correct?
Yes.
Well done.
Perfect. I'm so sorry. I'm also
No, it's
at
okay.
work too, so I'm a little distracted. So my question, essentially, this is sort of the tail end of conversation I had with a buddy last week. I wanted to know your thoughts on the obligations of the voter, essentially meaning, do we have sort of what you were talking about earlier, Andrew, sort of like what we need is impartiality in judges on the Supreme Court. Do you feel that the voters have the same obligation of impartiality, meaning separating their own personal beliefs from what our system of government should be and vote accordingly? So, for example, let's say you're an extremely progressive, left-leaning person, and some of my friends that I know who wanted to abolish the Second Amendment. Do you feel that you should have an obligation necessarily to separate yourself from that belief and vote accordingly to not ban handguns or something like that? I'm not a politician. I don't speak politics, so forgive me. I'm just sort of curious, do we have an obligation to sort of separate our own personal beliefs from the legal reality of our government, if that makes any sort of sense?
It does. I think the issue really might be what your expectations for what your vote can do are. Your vote is important and it matters and you ought to get out and do it, but your vote is not going to abolish the Second Amendment. It is not going, standing alone, it is not going to change the Constitution. I think you ought to be voting for the candidate that is going to best affect the change that you want to see now. In this race, I don't even think it's a contest. I think you have to vote for Joe Biden if you are a moral or empathetic individual. I think a vote for Trump is insane. I think a vote for third party it's the equivalent of thoughts and prayers. It's throwing it out. I think if you want to change, for instance, look at it. Joe Biden has shifted considerably left to the progressive side as this campaign has gone on from the primaries to now. He's done that because of the people who voted for him. Because all these the Sunrise Movement got involved, the Bernie supporters got involved, they pulled him to the left. That wasn't done because people voted third party in the general election on November 3rd. That's not what pulled him to the left. It was getting involved and being active that pulled him to the left. So I think you've got to, I think, lower your expectations for what your vote can do. And if you want to do more, you've got to become an activist. I mean, that is the way to really force social and governmental change. Your vote is just like this one tiny and absolutely crucial link in the chain. And, for instance, if Trump wins, there's zero chance that we're going to be able to fight climate change. There's zero chance that we're going to be able to get court reform. There's no chance to get a lot of these things. So you vote for Biden, then you have the chance. Then you start the work, the hard work of lobbying and activism and all that. I mean, so I don't think I really answered your question, but I think that's actually more. I think your expectations are off, and so I think that's your question. Kind of didn't make a lot of sense. Does that okay?
So I just want to clarify. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Go ahead.
I was.
I just want to clarify. Me personally, that was just a hypothetical that we sort of brought up. The hypothetical person who would want to abolish the Second Amendment. I personally don't. I mean, I already voted for Biden. I'm the left-leaning person in this friendship that I sort of mentioned at the very beginning. So we were just sort of talking about, you actually did answer the question, sort of the notion of activism and social activism for the changes that you actually want to see in the legal system. Rather than trying to get it done through just your single vote.
Your vote is just the beginning. Your vote is just the beginning. I mean, it's the easiest of all the things to do. The hard work is what comes next, and what comes next. And again, I get that the Second Amendment's a hypothetical, but it's whatever issues you care about. You're voting to set up a chance to win and make progress on those issues. Then you've got to actually get out there and do it.
Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. It was a short and simple question. Figured after the mess that you had to deal with earlier with that jackass, I wanted to be nice.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I'm good at dealing with jackasses. So the question, Stephen, then is, since we got to your question, are you hanging up on us or are we hanging up on you?
I actually have one thing for you, Matt, really quickly. Can I?
If it's a hang up, that would be brilliant. Go ahead. What's your one thing?
I just want to quickly say I am a theist. But I've been having my foot one in and out and one foot out, 1 foot in and 1 foot out for the past few months now. And listening to you and everything else, I'm closer getting both of my feet out the door. And I just wanted to personally say thank you. And everything that you say makes a lot of sense. And I have I owe a lot to the show and everything. So I just want to say I appreciate you. That's all.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad it's been useful.
Yeah.
In that case, you should hang up on me.
The water's fine.
I'll hang up on you.
Sweet.
All right.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.